Hey everybody, it's Rc Mechanic. Back from vacation. If any of you guys had an opportunity to see the Rc Mechanic on the Road series, I would suggest checking it out. The first one, we go through Moab, Arches National Park, and we do a little bit of running in Dugan Falls, Washington. Second one, I take the TFL Racing back out to Dugan Falls, and well, you'll have to see it because yeah, it didn't work out so well. But if you want to see what happened, go ahead and check it out. The third one, we're in Sand Hollow. Didn't get much chance to do any exploring. My wife had a bum foot, still does, but she couldn't really hike or anything, so I didn't get to go to the obstacles I wanted to, but it was still fun. The fourth one, the last one, we were down at the reservoir at the beach, did some sand bashing with the Losi Hammer Ray, and I gotta tell you, that truck is fun. So we're back to the bench, and we're back onto the Trailfinder 2 extended cab. And I've been doing some work and made a few changes since you guys seen this last time. Last time I was having issues. I actually got the bed mounted, right? But then I was having issues getting the cab to fit with the body and all that. So other than that, what we have here is I went with a low profile servo right here. One of these. This is an Endura 14 kilogram. Don't really need a lot of power for that, okay? So I put one of those in, which made a big difference because, I mean, here's your standard size. And if I was to put that up there so y'all can see it, you can see it hangs over this plate right here. And what that did is it caused problems with the cab mounting because it was sticking out too far and it was hanging up. So it wouldn't sit down the way I wanted it to. Okay? Alright. I went ahead and I oiled up the shocks. I put the standard Trailfinder 2 shock hoops in to raise it up again. And that leveled out the truck pretty good. Hobby Wing Fusion Pro 2300. We're going to go with that instead of the brushed motor. Still running my go-to servos that are, you know, really cheap and they work good. And when you have a hobby like this, you know how expensive this stuff can get. I mean, really. All right, so on the rear. Right here, these mounts here and right up in here. What I did is I cut a slot. Instead of just having a hole, I made it a slot so I can move this bed back a little bit, just enough so the cab will clear. Alright. And then I found out that while extending the wheelbase, that the old shock, while extending the wheelbase, the old drive shafts would not fit. They were a little too short. So I grabbed my last set of Hot Racing drive shafts, which by the way are, in my opinion, really strong. And they're like my go-to for everything now. I mean, I've used MIP, I've used countless different brands, but these are the ones I've been going with lately. So I put one in the rear, one in the front. Went ahead and I Loctited all the screws for the mounts. Did a little pinion work here. Probably can't see it because it's black, but I ended up putting a spacer here to adjust this pinion so it wouldn't, drive shaft wouldn't be at such a harsh angle. I may actually because of the way this is sitting, if you can see it, you can see this tie rod, I have it on top right now, but it's basically straight out. So I think I can afford to go ahead and put another spacer on the other side just to bring that pinion angle up where I feel is right. Because if you look right here, this is still a pretty harsh angle. It was a lot more before. And that's how you go ahead and you adjust your pinion on these. Actually, even on a full-size truck too. You extend that top. This one has a panhard, but you extend this top link, and that will rotate the differential up to bring it more in line. So, all right. So let me just go ahead and show you how the cab fits now. It's still pretty tight, but it actually fits. Okay. I'll have to do like I did on my other trail finder. Make these holes just a smidge bigger. So these, since I'm not using the actual screws that normally, like everyone does, make these just a little bit bigger so these will line up better. Because these are extremely tight here, and I can pick up the whole truck like this. Alright? So, what are we going to do today? Well, I think what we're going to do, we haven't got all the electronics in it yet, is that we're going to go ahead and put the engine bay back in. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can adjust the pinion angle a little bit better. And see what else we can get done. I was all ready to throw in the engine bay. And it occurred to me that I still haven't done the front bumper yet. Okay? And so I went ahead and I drilled through here and here and put screws from the backside, being careful not to damage the threads. Okay? So it's 98.9% straight. That's good enough, right? Okay, so, and if it's not, I can always make the hole bigger on this side because it's a little bit lower from what I can see. Alright, so what I want to do is put this bumper on, but I want it sitting about there. Okay? And it's going to be a little bit lower because I'm going to have to carve out right here and here, but my thinking is that I need to make that fit before I make the engine bay fit. That's where we're at right now. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and carve out here and here so that this will fit. Well, that turned out a whole lot better than I thought. I went ahead and I ground out up in here and here, drilled 2 holes straight through, mounted this. Now, it's not mounted to the frame yet, so that's why it does this. You're looking at it, it's basically, without everything all tightened down, without adjusting this side over here up, it is pretty damn close to straight. And it's equal right here. Alright, so my vision for this, and this part of the truck, is to put a winch under here, like hanging down, and a fairly coming out right here. I'm not sure if y'all can get the picture. I mean, looking at it from where my perspective, I see a lot, but from your side of it, probably don't see what I see. But I am super happy with this. Just goes to show what a little bit of imagination will do, and some fabrication, modification will do. And I still have spots for lights right here, so So if I want to put lights in, I can, or put one light across, I can. I'm not a big fan of the one on top because it gets destroyed usually if it flips over. So let me go ahead and take the cab off, and you'll know why I didn't put the engine bay in first. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Right up in here, I just ground out the corner over here and over here. I drilled a hole straight through here, and being careful not to damage the threads, I ran a screw through and was able to secure this. Okay, and I can't say enough how happy I am with this. I mean, other than some black touch-up right up in here, this thing is like super stellar. I mean, I couldn't be happier. Tell me what you think. You think that turned out well? I mean, would you have done something like this? Would you have thought of something like this? I mean, it's I would really like to know. So I would say not bad, considering this was just an idea. I was able to get the best of both worlds. The front bumper that was not supposed to be is there. The negative is this: passenger side is lower than the driver's side, but that can be adjusted if I make some more modifications. Okay, it seemed to be fine until I put the engine bay in, and now that the engine bay is in, I mean, it totally completes it, right? So what I'll have to do now is just adjust this bumper so it's square right here. Make sure everything's correct up here. The engine bay fits just like it did before. The cab fits. The bed fits. We're moving along. I go ahead and I articulate the suspension. It's close up here, but it's still not touching. So we're good there. Even though I still need to take a little bit of oil out of the rear shocks, that may change that. So if that does change that, I'll just go ahead and cut an angle right here, cap that off on both sides, and we're good. The approach angle right now is basically, that's it. So extending the wheelbase really made a difference on that. The departure angle at the back, well, that's a different story, but it's not near as bad as the SCX-10 clone. All I gotta do now is find the turn signal lights, headlights, and tail lights, at least get them installed before I move on. I believe I left off with the bumpers on, but the engine bay was not. There is now a 2300 kV Hobbywing Fusion Pro in it. I got the electronics all figured out. Okay. Only a couple things I need to do here. The one thing I did do, I got the rear bumper on, but it's not the way I want it. Okay. I wanted to use the aluminum bracket, but the aluminum bracket doesn't have the holes in it, so I can shove the adapter through. I was going to build a plate, but for the sake of finishing this project to the point it is right now, I decided to go with the original out of the kit. So as you can see, it flexes a lot. Okay, so what do we have left? Well, let's see. If you look at it from the front, you can see that this tire is pointing straight forward and this one is not. So next thing I need to do, I'm probably going to have to put a spacer in here between the joint and the rod, and that should bring it out to about where I need it so that the alignment's right. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, not putting it in all the way, but let's straighten this out and see where we're at. Truck sitting at an angle, but it looks like we may have this licked. This part of it. So all I do is find a spacer that'll fit through here, or I'll have to make one. A 1mm spacer right here. It's pretty dang close, so we're going to throw that in, tighten it down, and I hope we're going to be pretty darn close. 1mm spacers in here. And that's pretty dang close, I'd say. Let's plug it in, turn the power on. There's our steering right there. You can see it centers itself. It's pretty good. There is a bit of a camber problem here, but I'm not sure if I can fix that. Okay. Maybe the wheels might not be tight. I don't know. But alright, so the next problem with this is, if you look, you'll see that this spring is kind of like this and this is like this. So the axle shifted this way. So the only way to really fix that is there again, put another spacer in. Hopefully to center it. I'm going to take the panhard bar off, probably at the frame up here, and put a 1mm spacer in it and see where we're at. This is a lot better now, but when I did this, I had to adjust the steering trim on the radio here. And right now it's at 32 left. But I still have full left, full right. Everything's working just fine. For all of you who have not done much with RC before, when you go to put a new servo in, it is best to hook up power to it first so that this here will find its center. Okay? When it finds its center, then go ahead and center the horn onto the servo and then test it. It'll save you a big headache with it turning, say, all the way left but only halfway right. Things like that. Alright, next thing here is, okay, so when it comes to the shift servo, I think I already told you I had to go with a low profile one to make room for the body, right? Obviously the battery will still sit here. There's endpoints that need to be set on these, and it's important for all you new guys. It's important to set them endpoints as soon as you can. Okay. There again, assign it. Like this one here is assigned to the E button, right? So you go, you know, on a spectrum, you go into, say, travel. That's what I used. Okay, and it's the E button is assigned to aux 1. As you can see, 56% of the travel is what we got there. Right? And that seemed to work out just fine. If you don't do that, then the servo will constantly be trying to go one way or the other. It'll overheat and burn out on you. So I'll show you how this works. Oops, wrong button. There you go. And actually, on the Trail Finder, our RC 4-wheel drive, I have not seen anything move that smooth in an RC. So that works really good. So on this button right here, on this button right here, back is low, right? Forward is high. So this should be high gear. Okay, and then this should be low gear. Whoop. Maybe I got backwards. I don't know. No, I got it. It just didn't go all the way in. You'll always have some sort of a hang up point, and I need to tighten that screw. Okay, this is working. Let's put the body on and see what it all looks like. It's almost time for it to take it out for its first run, but that won't happen in this video because this is already going really long. And so here it is. Body's on. As you can see, the lights are on. Or in, sorry. We don't have any lights in there yet, but that'll be coming up later. There's actually quite a bit I want to do to this thing, but the goal here was to just get it runnable, right? So anyway, I think that's gonna be it for this one. The next video on this truck will be taking it for its first run, and hopefully it does well. So this is RC Mechanic. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to give me a like, click, subscribe, leave a comment on anything at all on this, and I'll catch you with the next video. Thank you for watching.